I'm Nilesh.
Nilesh and?
Agni.
Agni?
Yeah, Agni.
Okay, where are you guys from?
London.
London, yeah? Okay, listen. It's the point a man wants to die. After this, the judgment. When you die, you've got to stand before God in judgment.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, if heaven is a real place, are you good enough to get there? I know you've got a million questions. If heaven is a real place, are you good enough to get there?
Well, you're making a lot of assumptions there, really. That's a loaded question by definition, because you're saying, is heaven a real place? That's a loaded question, because no matter what I say, that's validating what you're saying about heaven.
Okay. Heaven is a real place. Are you good enough to get there?
Is that a theory, or is that a hypothesis, if heaven is a real place?
Well, the Bible says that heaven is a real place.
So
and now you're going to say the Bible's written by man and... No?
Well, it kind of is.
So,
no, sorry, it wasn't written by man, it was written by lots of men.
What do you think what do you think happens when you die then?
It's a very good guess. Who knows? How can we say what happens when we die?
Well, when I look at the Bible, I look at prophecies.
When you look at the Bible, that's like saying, when I look at Lord of the Rings, it tells me that we'll go to the Undying Lands.
Well, no, that's fiction, isn't it?
Well, what separates the two?
Well, the Bible is truth.
Both are written by men.
The Bible's written by 40 different authors. Over how many different continents?
Hundreds of years.
Over 1,400 years. And there's a running theme that runs all the way through it.
We're constantly changing.
Well,
both are fallible, written by men.
Well, do you know in 1948 when they found the Dead Sea Scrolls?
Yeah, but
in the sea, by the Dead Sea in some caves.
Right.
And everything that was on them scrolls matched up with the text verbatim, proving that what was written back then is actually what we have now.
Not necessarily though, because every religion has its bit of pseudoscience. I was raised in a Hindu family. In the 90s there was a massive deal when they found stones underneath Sri Lanka which apparently validated what happened in the ancient scripts that are Mayan. So what, every religion has its bit of pseudoscience. It doesn't prove, it might link up with a little bit from the Bible.
There's not one historical find that's been found that's ever contradicted anything in the Bible.
Dinosaurs.
Not one archaeological find. Well, the Bible does say there are dinosaurs.
No, it doesn't.
Not one. It does in the book of Job.
You can interpret it in a certain way. If you really want to believe that it does, then you can interpret something to believe that there was dinosaurs there. But really,
that's what it says. Okay.
So yeah, but not really. It doesn't.
Archaeological finds, everything they dug up. Not one of them, not anything has ever contradicted anything in the Bible. Every time they dig something up, it actually proves what the Bible has said to be correct.
Really now?
And then, 700 years before crucifixion was even invented, Psalm 22 said Jesus would be pierced in his hands and his feet. Jesus was pierced in his hands and his feet. He said he'd be born in Bethlehem, Micah 5:2. Yeah?
But you're also...
He'd be betrayed for 30 pieces of silver. He'd be crucified between two thieves.
Okay, but you're also...
Can you tell me who the President of America is going to be in 700 years' time, where he's going to be born, and how he's going to live, and where he's going to die? You can't.
Yes, but you're honestly saying you take the Bible as literal. Right?
Literal, absolutely. 100% literal.
My friend, and there's nothing I can say to you I can't take that away from you, because if you believe so strongly in that, there's nothing I can say. You're already disregarding.
Are you into science?
Am I into science?
How do you believe that the world come into being?
I'd say,
what is your theory on that?
The collective human intellect suggests that the current theory is, the Big Bang Theory.
And do you believe the Big Bang? It's in the Big Bang Theory?
I believe it's a strong possibility. That's the best to our knowledge. We might find out what the real answer is in 1,000 years. But until that point, why fill that hole with God?
Well, do you believe that nothing created everything?
This is deep.
Is that not a scientific impossibility?
Not necessarily.
Well, can you make me...
We're going very, very deep.
Okay, can you make me some honey out of nothing? You have no bee to start with.
Yeah, but this is something you can't quite understand, right?
Well, science says there was nothing, and then we had all this.
No, science admits that there's lots we don't know about the universe. Of course we don't. We're only, as a civilization, a few thousand years old. Science admits that. We're humble enough to say that, no, we don't know everything. We are working to find the truth, and sooner or later we'll get there. What religion does basically says, no, we don't know the truth, so we're going to fill that hole with God.
Well,
which I don't think is
I
right.
mean, also look at the fossil records. There's not one transitional form
Yes, there is.
in the fossil records. No, there's all of one kind. So cats have cats, dogs have dogs,
Yeah.
birds have birds, elephants have elephants. There's no transitional form. One creature transforming
so
into
why
another,
Why
not
are
one.
horses and zebras so
That's why it's
similar?
called the missing link. They're still looking for the missing link.
No, they're not. There's transitional fossils everywhere.
Brother,
my
if you
friend.
research it, you'll realise there is not
I
one
research-
transitional form in the fossil
You
record.
say research it, but you please tell me you are aware that 99.999% of all scientific studies points towards evolution and natural selection.
Well,
please
for
tell
me-
me you're at least aware of that. You are at least aware that.
I know that science points towards nothing creating everything. And for me, when I think about that logically, is a scientific impossibility. You cannot create life or anything out of nothing.
So what?
Come on, bruv.
So
Admit that. Come on.
No, that's not true.
Look, in my hand I have nothing and I can create life out of it.
So that proves the Bible.
Sorry?
So
Well,
that-
no, for me that proves there is a creator. That doesn't prove the Bible, but
But ultimately, who knows?
everything created has a creator.
Possibly, but just if that's the case, why are you so sure that your way is the right way?
Well,
Ultimately, I can't say there's a creator. I can't say there
have you got a conscience?
Of course.
Where do you believe your conscience came from?
Where I believe my conscience came from.
Yeah.
I don't believe it came from anything. It's something inbuilt into my brain.
Do you believe that, in your heart, every time you lie, it's wrong to lie?
Yeah.
Every time you
Because
take something, it's wrong to...
that's-
So God's taken his time
no,
to write his
that-
law on your heart.
Or I just have basic human empathy and compassion. That's
Well,
not why bring God into it.
Imagine a man that is born, from his birth, he lives in solitary confinement.
Yes.
He's had no contact with the outside world, zip. He comes out after 20 years of living in solitary confinement, he murders someone, he stands before a judge in a court of law. Would the judge let him go? He has no time to build a conscience, character,
Yeah.
anything.
So what?
No, because he knows it's wrong. No matter where you go in the world,
Sure.
you know it's wrong to lie.
That's basic human compassion, human empathy, emotion.
Well-
That's nothing that God gave us.
Absolutely is.
But why? God told. I'm sorry. I mean, this is an obvious point, but the Crusades, jihad, all the religious tension that's in the world.
Well, that you point that all back to man. Man trying to create a God in himself to suit what he wants to do.
So
Crusades to go out and kill people.
I mean,
Okay. Anyway, we can go down this rabbit trail all night. Yeah. You've lied before, yeah? You've stolen, touched something, yeah?
sure.
Looked to lust after someone. Okay. Taken God's name in vain. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
The God you don't believe in doesn't exist.
So, yeah,
But never mind.
That's cultural. That's
Okay.
not actual.
Okay.
It's like Christmas.
Listen to this, mate. By your own admission,
Yeah.
you're a liar, thief, blasphemer, and adulterer at heart.
By the Bible's laws, yes.
Okay.
I also, yeah.
Give me a minute, yeah?
I
Okay.
also break the Sabbath, but who's going to stone me? I mean,
Well, the Sabbath is not for keeping. Every day should be a Sabbath. Every day is a holy day
I
to
mean,
God.
sex before marriage,
Well-
come on, we're all guilty.
Absolutely. Now, if God was to judge you by that standard on the day of judgment,
What
if
a biblical standard.
yeah, by the Ten Commandments,
As in the New Testament standard.
Yeah.
So seeming that the God, out of all the possible deities it could be, is the God of your choice.
the God
New
of the
Testament,
Bible,
Abrahamic
the creator of the universe,
God, as in not
the God of Abraham, Isaac, and
not the
Jacob.
pagan gods,
No.
not the Hindu gods, not the Muslim gods, not the Jainist gods. It's actually specifically the New Testament deity.
God of the Bible.
Okay, and not even the Old Testament, the New Testament, right? Because the Old Testament's horrible.
Well, the Old Testament is Jesus concealed. The New Testament is
Yeah,
Jesus
but the Old
revealed.
Testament is just horrible. It's genocidal and just absolutely
Well,
disgusting.
in
And
the
you
Old
believe-
Testament, God punished sin.
Yeah, he was a genocidal freak.
Just like if we break the law of the land, the system punishes us.
Yeah,
Because there is a moral standard that we all have to abide by.
but, okay, so I
But
honestly, I
anyway,
don't
anyway, listen.
ultimately-
If God was to judge you by that standard, would you be innocent or guilty?
think if the biblical God was standing before me,
Yeah,
I
and
would
judge you by that standard, innocent or guilty?
guilty.
Okay, heaven or hell? If.
In that particular hypothesis,
Yeah.
oh hell,
Okay.
absolutely.
Now, does that concern you that if you die today, you'd end up in hell? If.
Um,
If
is a
what I'm
one
telling you
out
is the
of a
truth.
billion chance, sure. No, it doesn't.
Doesn't
whatsoever.
concern
In
you?
the same way that it doesn't concern me that an airplane might crash into me right now. The one chance is 1 out of billions. There's so many different gods to believe in. You choose a very specific one.
Well, I choose the God of the Bible, and I choose the evidence that proves his existence. I choose the evidence, the archaeological finds, the historical finds, the missing links.
Because all scientific evidence points towards
All
the
it-
God of your choice.
Not my choice, the God of the Bible. So the creator of the universe.
The evidence for other gods or even for science, that's just to be disregarded.
Absolutely.
Because you have already decided that you believe in your
No,
God.
because the Bible, the
Yeah,
God
because
that
the
the
Bible,
God
because
that
you
the
already
Bible
decided.
describes, and the Bible that proves itself through. The Bible's been knocked for how many centuries of years, and it's still there. Now, if that was a book of science fiction or whatever, that would have gone ages ago.
People want to believe it. People are desperate to believe it. Listen, man, I can't spend the whole night.
Yeah, I know we
Mate,
can stand here all
you're-
night talking,
you're still
but
a person,
it was good
and I
talking
love
to you.
as a person.
God bless you,
All
bro.
right, mate.
Good to talk to you.